You spent years thinking Skyrim was a story about heroes, dragons, and gods fighting for the world's survival. But what if you were never the hero? What if every quest, every victory, every soul you claimed was feeding the very thing that wants to end reality? Skyrim doesn't want a savior, it wants a sacrifice. Skyrim looks like a story about heroism, but when you follow the patterns built into the gameplay, the world doesn't respond the way a hero's world should. Major victories don't create lasting change, divine intervention is absent, powerful enemies seem more interested in cycles than morality, and every major system, Daedric quests, dragon souls, prophecies, behaves more like a controlled evaluation than a traditional narrative arc. The Daedric princes reward obedience, not goodness. And dragons follow fixed roles tied to time, not personal motives. Prophecy functions like a system directive, not divine communication. And no matter how significant your actions are, the state of the world remains strangely stable. And when you assemble these pieces, Skyrim stops looking like a hero's story and more like a controlled system. And you're not the savior, you're the mechanism. Daedric quests appear optional, but the way they're structured shows a consistent pattern. You rarely seek the Daedra out. You're drawn in by dreams, rumours, artifacts, or people pushed to desperation. Every introduction is designed to bring you into contact with a prince who already knows exactly what they want from you. Molag Bal's quest isn't about strength, it's about whether you'll follow an order without hesitation. Namira's feast tests whether you'll participate in something disturbing when it's framed as a tradition. Vermina manipulates an entire town through nightmares, studying your willingness to intervene even when the solution causes more harm. Hermaeus Mora observes how far you'll go to acquire knowledge, even when the consequences are obvious. These quests don't assess morality, they assess compliance. The structure is always the same. You perform a task that aligns with the prince's domain, and they reward you with an artifact that symbolizes the agreement. This isn't a collection of side adventures, it's a series of evaluations. Skyrim frames Alduin as a destructive villain, but Elder Scrolls lore shows dragons as part of the world's fundamental structure. Dragons are extensions of Akatosh, embodiments of time, and their shouts are commands written directly into the framework of reality. Their very existence stabilizes the timeline, and when Alduin resurrects dragons at burial sites, he isn't terrorizing Skyrim. He's activating parts of a system designed to maintain the world's cycle. Even Paarthurnax states plainly that Alduin acts according to his intended role, and killing him removes the world's reset function, and the game reflects that ever so quietly. The gods remain silent, the greybeards withdraw, and the dragons continue to appear without leadership. Another detail players overlook is how dragons interact with the world when you're not fighting them. Dragons rarely attack cities unprovoked. Most fly predetermined routes, patrol ancient sites, or circle word walls linked to their origin. Their actions follow a script tied to the structure of time, not personal vendettas. Skyrim shows dragons behaving like programmatic agents in a larger cycle, not like random monsters acting on emotion. Defeating Alduin doesn't restore order, it removes the stabilizer holding the world together. Hermaeus Mora is often treated as a villain because of his appearance, but his behaviour suggests something more complex. Apocrypha is structured like a containment facility, not a library, and the black books are placed in remote, dangerous locations locked behind puzzles and guardians. If Mora wanted mortals to freely access forbidden knowledge, these books would be in cities, not in buried ruins. Every mortal who pushes too far into Mora's domain suffers the same fate: mental collapse, disappearance, or removal from the world. Septimus Cygnus isn't killed, he's erased. It's not punishment, it's containment. Mora intervenes when mortals approach information that threatens the stability of the world. Not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. Even the environment in Apocrypha reflects this. The pathways rearrange themselves, preventing mortals from moving freely. Books shift, platforms rotate, and the entire sections close behind you. This isn't the behaviour of a library meant to be explored. It's the behaviour of a facility managing access, letting you see only what Mora allows before locking the rest away. Mora isn't hoarding knowledge, he's preventing a breach. The Dragonborn is described as a chosen champion, but prophecy in the Elder Scrolls universe isn't divine praise, it's a system directive. Dragonborn appear only during periods of instability, and their abilities override the natural order dragons maintain. The Thuum isn't magic, it's an administrative language that can alter time, events, and even fate itself. Tiber Septim reshaped the world with it. Merak nearly broke free from the cycle entirely. Both acted less like heroes, and more like individuals whose existence disrupted reality. The Dragonborn has the authority to issue commands that bypass the rules dragons follow. This is why so many ancient groups feared or worshipped the Dragonborn without understanding what they were dealing with. The Greybeards isolate themselves, the Blades obsess over your role, even the Foulmore monitor you closely. Every faction that studies prophecy behaves as if the Dragonborn is a variable that can destabilize the timeline, not someone destined to protect it. If Alduin is the reset function, the Dragonborn is the override. If Skyrim were a traditional story, your actions would produce lasting changes. NPCs would acknowledge your victory, the civil war would resolve, and the world would shift into a new phase. None of that happens. The world continues unchanged, and factions behave as if the main quest never occurred. This isn't a storytelling flaw, it aligns perfectly with the cosmology. The Elder Scrolls universe operates in a repeating cycle called Kalpath. Worlds end and restart, often without memory of the previous versions, and the lack of lasting change becomes even clearer when you revisit places affected by major quests. Towns recover instantly, dungeons repopulate, and faction leaders behave exactly as they did before. Skyrim's world state resets faster than it evolves, reinforcing the idea that the world isn't designed to progress, it's designed to endure until the next cycle begins. And Skyrim's static world matches the system preparing for the next iteration. Sovngarde is portrayed as a reward, but its behaviour doesn't match a final resting place. Souls don't grow, change, or move on. They remain static under the watch of Tsun, separated from the flow of time. The Hall of Valor functions less like a paradise and more like a controlled environment for the powerful souls kept outside of the cycle. And when the Dragonborn enters Sovngarde, the warriors don't greet you with admiration, they react with caution. A Dragonborn appearing in a static afterlife is not normal. It indicates that the current cycle is unstable, and Sovngarde isn't the end of that journey. It's the buffer zone before the world resets. All the clues were presented across the game. Paarthurnax warned you about the nature of power. Mora restricted your knowledge. Dragons behaved accordingly to cosmic roles, and the Daedra evaluating your responses instead of your morality. When those patterns come together, Skyrim stops looking like a story about saving the world, and starts looking like a controlled transition from one cycle to the next. You weren't the hero the story suggested, you were the instrument that the system needed.